Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Sun City in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic, sparkling, fun Friday. Oh, it has been a blast today. When I talked this morning, well, first of all, how was your fun Friday? What fun things did you get to do today? I always like to know all the fun things that are happening. And, but yeah, I had a fun day. So I just want to make sure everybody else had fun today too. I got to talk with my friend Laura today to do her podcast interview. It was awesome. We just sat and chatted, and she just threw in questions here and there, and it was just like we were just having a catch-up conversation, bringing up memories and everything else. There was a couple of times I did get choked up, but overall, Laura is an amazing interviewer. She is awesome. It was such an honor to be able to support her on her new venture of doing the Widowing Around podcast. And it's just widows and widowers talking about their experience in hope that we can help those who are facing widowhood or are already there. It's just a support community. So for the newly minted or those that have been for a while, just helping each other and talking and sharing our experiences so that we can learn from each other. The conversation that we had really was a conversation. It was awesome. And she'll just like throw a question out here or throw a question in there. And it was very comfortable. It was just two mates sitting around having a chat. That's what it felt like. And it just felt so good and so right to be there in that moment of time and just talking. We had a great conversation. She shared some stories about Bruce. I shared some stories about Brad. We kind of compared notes a little bit. We haven't seen each other since after her husband passed, because it wasn't long after that we moved. And so it was, talking about caregivers having each other's backs and that sort of thing. It was a really cool conversation. And some of the questions were tough, like, how would you sum up Brad? And it's like, what one word would you use or phrase would you use to sum up Brad? And I was like stumped. I'm like, he was the most gentle, giving man. He was just amazing. He just, he kept me grounded, but gave me room to fly. That's what I should have said today. It's amazing how some things come back to you. And I got to share some stories that I hadn't shared before and talk about some stuff that I hadn't talked about before. So that was really cool. And Laura was just amazing. There's a couple of times I got choked up, but overall it was we had a really good conversation, and it kind of got, I think by the time I finished, I had like half an hour to get lunch and get ready to get on the chat. And by the time I had gotten everything else done that I needed to get done before getting on the chat, I still hadn't had lunch. And so I got on there and it was pretty quiet. And I said, well, I'm just going to take 3 steps to my right and make my lunch, and I'll be right back. It's kind of cool because all the other ones say, oh, I've got to go downstairs and grab some food, or I've got to go to and I'm saying, I'll just take 3 steps to the right here and I can finish getting my lunch ready. And if I had a ding, I would just put everything down, come over here, sit down, take care of the chat, get back up, and go finish making my lunch. And so I sat here having lunch while I was doing that. So it worked out well. And some of that benefit, and I said to them, if this slide where the dining table wasn't open, like this side was closed up, I said I would just be able to reach across, grab the fridge door, open it, take out what I need, and have lunch. Because I can, when this slide is closed, I can just lean over and open the fridge. That's how close it gets. And quite often when we're traveling and we're in a rest area and I've made lunch, I'm like, I forgot to grab my drink. I can open up the fridge, pull my drink out, close the fridge, and I don't even have to get up. The advantage is living in an RV. And so I said, I said, first of all, I said 3 steps. And I looked at the front and went, maybe it's 2 steps to the right. But it all worked out well. It was a very fun day. Totally had fun with Laura today, talking about being a widow and all that entails, the feelings that we get on that, how it can be perceived at times, how we perceive it, and we were even talking about how I was telling her that one time I get this asked so often that when I pull up into a camping ground, and there was this one woman who comes over and goes, "Excuse me," she said, "Are you are you driving this by yourself? And I looked at her and went, yeah, like it was no big deal because to me it wasn't. And she goes, you are so brave. And I said, I don't get it. I said, if it was a guy, she wouldn't have gone up to him and said, did you drive this by yourself? Oh, that's amazing. And that led us into talking about truck drivers. I said, there are so many female truck drivers out there. I said, I see them all the time when I'm in rest areas and things because, we pull the RV into the truck parking area. And I see them and I said, but truck drivers overall, and I said, I don't care whether they're male, female, or whatever. They just astound me with being able to maneuver a vehicle that is so large. And I said, and then they've got to back up that 53-foot trailer or whatever it is on the back. I just remember seeing the 53 on the back of the trailers and get them into narrow spaces and stuff. I said, I've seen them back those things in the thing where there is just inches on either side where they've got no wiggle room. It's like line it up and take it straight back. And I said, I don't care if they're male or female. I said, they just absolutely astound me, the truck drivers, being able to maneuver those vehicles around. I said, I have the utmost respect for them and especially their backing skills. Me with I would hate to think what I would be like. With the correct training with a trailer, I would probably do pretty well. Probably, maybe. Not really sure, but with backing up a trailer. So I've never learned to drive with a trailer. I've never backed up a trailer. So I don't know how good I would be. It would take a lot of practice, I would think. I'd have to be something I would do frequently. But I've often wondered about what would it be like to drive an 18-wheeler. Then I'd have to learn to back. And I'm like, yeah, not really. But we segued into all sorts of topics in that conversation. But it was a really good time. I think we were on the phone for a couple of hours. I think it was 10:30, 12. Yeah, about a couple of hours we were on the phone just talking, catching up, having the conversation. It was awesome. And then had about a half-hour break before I had to get online for the chat. And the chat was pretty quiet today. So, but, it went smoothly. It went smoothly today. It was good. And but it was just, don't usually get it that quiet. I'm trying to think the last time I had it that quiet on a Friday afternoon. But it was good. It was good. I got some other stuff done. So, work-wise, working on some other instructions and things. So it was a pretty good day. Overall, it was a good day. And we've just come back from a nice long walk. Zeffie again just leading the way, although she definitely wanted to go out of the pet area, and I said no, not happening. You can't go that way. We have to go this way. That was when she protested the most about not being allowed to choose which direction she could go. And I'm just like, and then there's this rabbit that keeps every time we step out of the RV, Zeffie tries to get under the RV because there's a rabbit under there. And I'm like, sweetie girl, you are not going to catch that rabbit. Yes, you are fast, but I guarantee that rabbit's faster than you. And I'm not letting her off the leash to find out. But every time we go out, she ducks under the RV and to try and get to this rabbit. So when we came back, she sort of like, I said, is that rabbit down the side there? And so we went down the side, and sure enough, the rabbit was there. And so Zeffie starts walking towards it, not running, not diving at it like she usually does. She starts walking towards it, and the rabbit takes off underneath the RV, and she's like, and I said, well, just walk around. And we walked around the other side, and it was sitting at the end of the patio at the front of the RV. And so Zeffie just starts walking like, I don't care, just starts strolling on up and gets and I stop at the door of the RV, and Zeffie just goes to the end of her leash without pulling my arm out and just stands there and looks at this rabbit, and the rabbit just took off. It was like, I'm not having any of you. So great entertainment with that. But she's so funny lately. She's wanting cuddles in the morning, which is kind of interesting. She doesn't like me picking her up and having the cuddle. She likes to lay on the bed and have me just wrap my arms around her and hold her while she lays on the bed. And then this morning when I did it, she just immediately just went limp in my arms. Yesterday it took a while of talking with her and giving her pets and all of that sort of stuff and petting her before she just went limp. But today it was like I just wrapped my arms around her because I got to bend over, but she's on the bed, so it's a little higher. So I just had to bend over, and I rest on my elbows so that my body's not resting on her. But it's enough that she knows that she's surrounded. And I just do that and talk to her gently and just pet her some more. And she just like went, And so that was very good. That was very cool for her to do that, because it meant that because other times when she sees me coming, she's so like, is she going to pick me up or is she not? Don't want to get picked up, so she'll try and dance all around and running, and it becomes a game of chase for her. But today she ran up on the bed, laid down. I just wrapped my arms around her, and she just went. So and she was kind of sort of on her back too, so she had her back leg spread, wanting the belly rubs and all of that. So I just cuddled her up, and the back leg just went. So I was like, yes, we're making progress. But yeah, so anyway, I have no idea what we're going to do tonight. Then I'm going to make some dinner. I might do Brussels sprouts tonight. I have some Brussels sprouts in there. And in the pan, I got taught in the pan to melt a stick of butter in there. This is how I am not been a Brussels sprouts fan for very long. And in 2016, we were back east for the middle son's wedding. And we were staying with a friend of ours, and her husband had passed from cancer earlier that year in 2016 in February. In fact, it'll be 6 years next week. So we were staying with her, and she cooked up these beautiful meals, and would sit there and she had one of her husband, because her husband and Brad used to work together. And so we were sitting down having dinner, and she had invited their old boss over, who was good friends with them. And so the four of us are sitting there having a great dinner and all that. And I bypassed the Brussels sprouts, and she looks at me and says, "You're trying those?" I went, "Yeah, no, I don't eat Brussels sprouts." And she goes, "Oh, these are really good." She says, "I hated Brussels sprouts until Lance taught me that was her husband, taught me how to cook them. And now I do it this way, and they're really, really, just try one." I went, "Okay." So I tried one and went, "Actually, it's not bad." So she told me exactly how to cook them, and you got to get a pan, you get it hot, you put a stick of butter in there, you let it melt down, and then you have all your Brussels sprouts cut in half, and you put face down, the cut side down on the pan with the butter, cover it, and let it cook for like 20 minutes. And she says they'll be nice and tender and have this buttery flavor, and the side that's face down will be crispy, and so I've been cooking them that way ever since. But I thought, I wonder what they'll be like in the air fryer. I'm trying to figure out how I can do that with the butter and still getting that crispy. But I thought if I cook them downside first, so with the cut side down, and then halfway through flip them over so that it gets crispy and toasty on top. I wonder how that would be. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to do it in the stoneware as well, and see how it turns out. So that's my culinary experience in the kitchen tonight. And then I've got some vegetables there. The ones that you don't have to cook. So I'm just going to throw together like a salad or something to go with them, and cut up some cold meat to go with it. I'm going to have turkey now, uncured turkey. Cook up some turkey in there. So I have a little bit of egg salad left over as well. So that'll go on there as well. So it'll be because I'll have the turkey on there. So yeah, we'll have some meat on there and that sort of stuff. And I was like, I got the inspiration of like, what was I doing? There was something I was doing today that sparked this thought of, well, maybe I could get something like, those George Foreman grills or something, one of those types of things where you put the steak in the middle and just close the thing and let it cook for X number of minutes. I wonder if that would work with my steak. And so I've been investigating them. So, because I'm not ready to have a gas cylinder that I have to worry about. I keep thinking about that, and I thought, well, what if I got one of those indoor ones? Would that work? So investigating, not purchasing, just investigating at this time. It's just a thought in the back of the head that came forward. I said, I will investigate. I'm not going to buy anything. I'm just going to investigate and see where we get to with that. But anyway, I'm out of here this weekend for fun. I have got laundry to do. Fun laundry. Pick up the mail. I got another notification for a package today. I'm like, what the heck is that? All I know of is my oil order. There was 2 other things I've ordered from. Oh, I know what today's one will be. That's my it'll have her treats in it, because I've got her treats on auto ship right now. And it'll be her treats that arrived today. So yeah, so it'll be her treats, my oil order. There's another one of stuff that I've ordered, and then the rest of them, no clue. So I'll find out tomorrow. But anyway, go out, have a super fantastic, sparkling, fun weekend. Oh, that will be fun, finding out what's in the packages. Yeah. And then I'm also looking at possibly, well, one thing I will be trying to do this weekend is get the security cameras attached to the bottom of the cabinets. One in here, one in the bedroom, so that when I'm out, I can keep an eye on Zeph and talk to her because they're two-way on the speakers. I do have a ring bell to put outside, and got the extra heavy duty double-sided tape that the guys were all telling me in the Facebook group for Fleetwood that this is the best stuff. They said it won't come off power wash, but I want to get the outside power washed first, get that done, get the roof sealed, and then put the ringer thing on, because I just don't know how it would be with a power washer. So I figured I'll get it all nice and clean first, then I'll put the Ring doorbell on, and that way it'll be a little more secure and that sort of thing. It means if anybody comes up while I'm out, I will be able to see them, and especially if they hear Zeffie crying, then I can talk with them through the Ring thing, saying, oh, she's fine, she's just separation anxiety. So, although the other day I was playing one of those 15-hour-long YouTube videos that are meant to be for dogs with anxiety, and I was sitting here while I was working having it play, and she actually settled down for a bit, and then all of a sudden a blast. I'm like, what the heck? That was commercials during the middle of the thing. I'm like, seriously, you're supposed to be helping dogs relax and get off, and you go and of course, being an advertisement, the volume increased, and I'm like, and it wasn't a quiet commercial, it was a loud one. I'm like, that sucks. My dog was all nice and relaxed, and of course this thing blares out, and she's like, what's going on? What's going on? I'm like, great, now you got to get her relaxed again. So don't do that. If you're playing relaxing music, don't have commercials blaring in the middle of it. Especially if you're doing ones like, for stress and anxiety, or you're doing musical pieces that people can sit and meditate to. There's nothing worse than the middle of meditation having a commercial blasting at you. That's why I don't use YouTube for that. I've seen that happen too, because sometimes I like listening to the music and stuff, and so I'll just put it on and just listen to the music, because some of that music will actually help me focus on what I'm doing. But then all of a sudden it just blares, and you're like, what? And it takes you away from that moment of focus. And I'm like, this is supposed to be a meditation or music that you can do yoga to or relaxing to, and you go blast out a commercial. So for those of you on YouTube that have those videos that are supposed to be relaxing and calm and zen, do not press that little button that says put commercials in the middle of the video. They never put them in the right place anyway. A number of times I've been watching a video and somebody's been talking, and mid-sentence they go to a commercial. I'm like, they just plant them in X number of minutes long. And I'm like, yeah, you do that, I'm not watching the rest of your video. Sorry, I'm out of there. We're done with that video. Advertisement comes in, done with that video, on to the next. Anyway, it's my little bitch for the day. Isn't that fun? Okay, I'm out of here. Go have a super fantastic sparkling evening. We'll catch you back here bright and early tomorrow morning for Shake It Up Saturday. Maybe I'll have my laundry done. Maybe I'll do it from the laundry. Get up, do my thing, take Sophie for a walk, come back, get the laundry, go over and do it, come back, and then it'll be done early in the morning. Yeah, it sounds like a good idea. Have a super fantastic sparkling evening. Hey, Gonetta.